Genesis 36 and verse 1. Now, these are the generation of Esau, who is Edom. Then you will know in the so-called white people, they're red. Because you go in the book of Genesis 25, you read verses 23 all the way down through 27, you see the birth of the first so-called white man. There was no such thing as so-called white person on the earth, no so-called red or pale people until Genesis 25. Until Genesis 25. So do not lie, don't say the children of Japheth, they were white. The children of Japheth, they're not white, they're dark skinned. Noah, he gave birth to 3 sons. They were all dark skinned people. All dark skinned. Different shade of brown. Some are more darker, some a little bit darker, some are super dark, understand. He got 3 sons. 3 sons is who? Is Shem, Japheth, and Ham. They were all dark skinned people, all dark skinned. So stop your lie and cut it out. The first so-called white men appear in the book of Genesis. Thousands of years. Later on, since the creation. Thousands of years after. Genesis chapter 25, the first one. You go to Genesis 25 and you read it. You don't know. That's the description of the so-called white people or the Caucasian. Understand that. So let's read it. Genesis chapter 36. Genesis 36 and verses 1. Now these are the generation of Esau, who is Edom, because his name changed from Esau to Edom when he ate the lentil with the uncooked meat. The meat was still bloody. That's why you take a look at them when they go to the restaurant. The so-called white people, they like their meat to be cooked halfway. They want the blood to still dripping. That's how they like it. Okay? Because it's against the Most High, it's against the Bible to eat any food that got blood in it. The Most High is against it. The Most High abhorrent, is abominable. Okay, understand that. When you go in the book of Deuteronomy, Leviticus, Exodus is all written in detail. Right? And guess what? And the life lies in the blood. The spirit is in the blood. Understand? That's why you can eat the blood of the animal. The blood got to be drawn. It got to be poured in the ground. That's what the Most High say. So if you go to a restaurant, you got to make sure that your meat is fully cooked. No blood. If you cut it and you see a hint of blood, you return it to them. They got to cook it again. The blood got to be fully gone. No bloody meat, understand? So when he eat the bloody meat, that's when the Most High changed his name from Esau to Edom. The name was changed from Esau to Edom for eating what? Bloody meat. And that's why until this very last day, 2021, according to the Satanic Gregorian calendar, right, they still eating the bloody meat when they go to the restaurant. They love it with rare medium, right, or medium fully. They love it, right, and they go hunting. That's what they do. That's their job. Okay, continue. Let us continue to say. Let's jump to verse 6, all right? Genesis 36 and verse 6. And Esau took his wife, so he got 3 wives. Understand? He married some Canaanite and he married some Ishmaelites. So keep in mind, because a lot of you out there, you believe Esau telling you this or blah, blah, you know, guess what? Esau used to be he used to practice he practiced polygyny or polygamy or whatever you want. He used to have 3 wives, okay? Until even this 200 years ago, 100 years ago, he changed. Some of them, they still practicing until the very last day. Okay? So let's read it. So, Genesis 36 and verse 6. And Esau took his wives and his sons and his daughters and all the person of his house and his cattle and all his beasts and all his substances. So understand, the so-called white people, where were they born? The first white person, the white people, they were born in Canaan, the land of Canaan. Understand that. They were born in the land of Canaan. To who? To who? To Isaac. They were not living in Europe. And Canaan is not located in Europe. Okay? For a lot of you ignorant out there, you like to run your mouth. Just keep your mouth shut and you're going to learn. If you stay quiet and you humble yourself, you're going to learn. Now, if you want to believe in the wine, you want to drink the wine of Esau, you go ahead and drink his wine, his philosophy. The wine we're talking about here, we ain't talking about the alcohol, understand? We're speaking as the Most High speak. The wine in the Bible is 2 different types of wine. One, you got the alcohol. When you drink it, you get drunk. Sometimes if you over drink it, you get drunk. And guess what? You got the wine, which is talking about the lie, the doctrine of men. Like Christianity is a wine. Islam is a wine. Buddha is a wine. Understand that? Politics is a wine. Right? Republican, Democrat is a wine, understand that? Yeah, GMO thing, like they say that too much people living on earth is a wine, right? Those are doctrine, those are philosophy of Satan and his children, understand that? That's what we're talking about. So remember, you want to join him with Esau and drink his wine. You want to believe in his lie, his philosophy. You want to follow everything he tell you. You want to do another wine, I'll tell you, Father Days is a strong wine. Keep in mind. All right? So there we go. So, he said, in all his substances, right, which he had got in the land of Canaan. Understand it? Boom. Boing, in the land of Canaan. Not Europe. Not Europe. Okay, not in Italy, not in France, not in Germany, not in the land of Canaan. So then the Mosai moved them from Canaan to where? Let's find it out. Watch this. Which he had got in the land of Canaan. Because where was he born? In the land of Canaan. In the house of who? Isaac. Isaac is the son of who? Abraham. A lot of you don't know nothing. You run your mouth. You do the pa thing. That's why sometimes I'll be quiet, be looking at you. Because I know you know it nothing. And you're wasting your time. You can do something, I ignore you. I don't want to waste too much of my time. Right? Let's continue. Let's see. He said, and went into the country, right? And went into the country from the face of his brother Jacob. So he went like in a countryside, right? He went to like kind of like rural area, like countryside, like village area. Let's keep in mind, watch this, right? For the riches from the face of his brother Jacob, right? Because they were twin, but they were not brother. They were separate from before they were even born. That's how the Mosai said it. So keep in mind. He said, for the riches were more that they might dwell together. And the land wherein there were strangers could not bear them because of their cattle. Because of their cattle. So they had a lot of cow, buffalo, they got, all type of things, right? They got what? Rams, they got goat, goat, sheep. The list goes on and on. You get a point. Let's continue. Right? Verses 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. That's dwelt. So where did he live after he left the land of Canaan? He went and lived in the land of what? Seir. That's dwelt Esau in Mount Seir, in the mountain of Seir, the mountain in the caves of Seir. Because the word Caucasian doesn't mean what? Cave dwellers. Cave dweller. They always love to live in a cave, right? Like what? The eagle. Where does the eagle live? The eagle goes set his nest on the top, fully on the top of what? The cave, the rocks, that no other birds, no other person will be able to go over there and snatch her or take her baby or her eggs. That's how Esau operates. Esau is the eagle. Understand that, right? Let's continue. He said, Genesis 36 and 8. Thus dwell Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. The Mosai telling you again, they are not so-called white people. They are not Caucasian. Their name is Esau or Edom. Esau or Edom. Bosra. Verses 9. And these are the generation of Esau, the father of the Edomite in Mount Seir. Did he say Europe? No. So what you do, you go on your Google and type in your Google Mount Seir and look at the location. What is it located at? You see, it's somewhere in the middle. It's near Saudi Arabia, and I think is the Dead Sea, something like that. That's why. So how did they end up being Europe? They conquer, they rape, murder, savage, steal, kill the people and stone. That's what they did. Okay? So give me a break. Give us a break. Understand that. Give us a break. You don't believe this thing? That's your problem. The Most High will deal with you. All right, let's listen.
And this is the problem, the way you communicate.
You see that?
No, stop. Stop. You need to stop. You need to stop. Stop.
You see, Esau, hold on. Let's go to the book of Habakkuk, man. Let's go, man. You see, that's the point, man. Let's see. Let's go to the book of Habakkuk. I can't wait to go over there. Let's go in the book of Habakkuk. We got to go over there. Habakkuk, let's address it, right? Let's go in the book of Habakkuk. Man, I gotta, let's go over there straight. Habakkuk, let's go to that brother, our forefather. You see, though the woman telling, this sister telling this Edom woman to shut it down, you see their dresses? Take a look at their dresses. You see how big is their dresses? How long it is? Because a lot of you out there, you don't want to keep God coming. Look at this sister. Well-dressed, long dresses covering even their feet. Because that was our heritage. Let's go right here in the book of Habakkuk. Let's read it. This is the book of Habakkuk. I'm going to read chapter 2, right? Let's read it. Habakkuk chapter 2, right? Habakkuk chapter 2 and verses, let's start from verse 4. Because when you read the book of Habakkuk chapter 2, it's literally talking about Esau. Literally. But you got to be spiritual to understand. It's plain and simple for a brother and sister that keep the commandment to understand. But you won't read the word Esau. But it's talking about Esau. It's talking 100% about Esau. How do we know? Let's prove it. Let's see. Actually, let's let the sister talk. Watch this. You see now the sister, you can literally tell that her language is very close to Hebrew. You can literally tell. Right? So understand. But based on Jeremiah, right? Jeremiah, the Most High already said we're going to lose war, our heritage, which we're going to be discontinued. Right? Let's keep in mind. Right? Now let's read this. This is the book of Habakkuk. Right? Before that, actually, let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus. Watch this. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus. I want to address that first. Let's go in the book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 21 and verse 4. Or Sirach chapter 21 and verses 4. Sirach, or the book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 21 and verse 4. It said, to terrify and to do wrong will waste riches. Thus the house of proud men shall be made desolate. So the house of Esau Edom is going to be destroyed. Justin Trudeau, Canada, America, France, Germany, England. Listen, the Most will cut them off. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All we got to do is to keep the commandment. You don't have to waste your time. Do not protest. Don't join Black Lives Matter. Do not join Black Lives Matter. Join the Israelites. Join your own people. Join the brother that teach the law of the commandment on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Keep the commandment. Learn. If you can't go to the camps, learn. Right now, the Most High allow us to use the internet. So go ahead and use the internet. Subscribe to the YouTube. Learn and gain wisdom. Keep the commandment. Understand that. Right, let me read it. Ecclesiasticus chapter 21 and verse 4. It said to terrify. Who terrified the people? Who terrified the so-called black Latino and native? Who? The so-called Edomite. Oh, excuse me, the so-called white people. Esau Edom, they're the one. It's Esau Edom, right? It's the truth, man. We having enough of that thing right now, right? When you can't say you're going to be politically correct. No, that's garbage, okay? That's garbage. We are to obey God, the Most High YAHAWAH, rather than men. We are to obey God rather than men. Understand that? The book of Acts chapter 5 and verse 29. We are to obey God rather than men. We are to obey the Most High. Man, get out of here. He said, well, to terrify and do wrong. What happened? They terrify our forefathers, the so-called blacks, the so-called native Indian. How did they do? We will show you. To terrify and do wrong will waste riches. Thus the house of proud men, proud man. Proud man. Esau is a proud man. Because he won't keep you home. Let's go. Habakkuk, right? Let me press up that with Habakkuk, right? Watch it. This is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. So the soul of Esau is not right. That's what the Moses said from the beginning. Before he was born, the Moses set it up like that. The Moses said, don't deal with, don't trust them. Their soul is not righteous. All they're going to do on the earth is wickedness. Esau Edom, their job is to do evil on the earth, is to drop bomb on Afghanistan, to take the rebellious of our people into slavery, slaughter us, kill us. That's what the job was for. World War I, World War II. Drop bomb on the Japanese, Nagasaki, Hiroshima. That's what the job. Rape and steal the land of the native Indian. Give them Christianity. Spanish. That was their job. And they did the job. We don't do our job. We don't keep the commandment. All right, let's read. Say, well, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. So the just, we're going to live by his faith. Who? The Israelite. If you repent, you keep the commandment. Let's see what the Moses says. Verse 5. Yeah. Also because he transgressed by wine. So when you read the word wine, you think it's talking about what? The alcohol? No. Now you tell me, does the Arab, do they drink wine with you? They don't drink wine. We know that. How many you see of the so-called East Indian? Do they drink wine? Not many. Right? So it's not talking about the alcohol. It's talking about the philosophy, the lie. Don't you see everybody buying to the lie of Esau Edom? Don't you see? Show me one nation that does not follow the way of Esau. Show me one nation. Right? Show me one country where you don't see homosexuality. Show me one country that you don't see. Show me one. They might not appear. They might not come out. But guess what? They're right there in the closet. They're hiding. So keep in mind. Show me one nation where they don't wash the Western. They don't follow. The women don't wear pants. Show me one nation on the earth where the women don't wear pants. Show me one. I'm waiting to see. Is it in Japan? Is it in China? Is it in West Africa, Benin? Is it in Afghanistan? They're wearing pants, just as what? The so-called white woman. Show me one nation that did not convince to follow the wicked way. Show me one nation that didn't convince into having passport, things like that. Show me one. You show me one. Show me one. We're waiting on you. You bring it out, right? Watch this. He said, yeah, also because he transgressed by one, he is a proud man. What did the Mosai say? Esau is a proud man. The so-called white people, the so-called Caucasian, they're very proud. They'll never accept. I just told you. The brother was shot just in the arm, on the back of his arm, right? And he was bleeding. Then he called the 911. The dispatcher picked up. The brother told the dispatcher, yeah, I'm shot in my arm and I'm lying in the middle of the street. And he told in the street everything. Guess what? The police literally ran the brother over and literally killed the brother, right? Guess what? When they have this conference, the police conference, when the other police came, the boss or whatever you want to call it, what did he say? He said the police did not do that intention. How did you know? How did he know? Why? Because it's his race. It's the same people. They're all white. They got to stand for each other. We don't stand for each other. We don't love each other. We hate on each other. Oh, don't post in my Facebook group. Oh, blah, blah, blah. No, man. Cut it out. Cut it out. You got to love your brother. We the same people. Why we always fighting each other? Why we killing each other over things that don't make sense? You shot your sister over mask. She told you put on your mask. Meanwhile, you leave the person who mandate the mask. You leave the person alone and you shot your sister because she told you. Right? You kill your brother because the brother told you this and that. No, don't do that. That's evil right there. Don't evil. That's why all these things happening to us. So this Edomites, the police, why he said, no, the police did not do that. He did not do it intentionally. Why? Because he just defending his faith. You see the Mosai? Does he know the intention of that police? Does he know? No. Who know our heart? Who try our reign? Is the Mosai. Is the Mosai. So he's trusting a man because what? He's a curse. Esau is a curse. Esau is a curse. Esau is the devil. That's why he come on and giving the conference. He's trying to justify what happened. Why did the brother die? Because he was run over by the police cruiser, by the car. The car weighed over 500 kilograms, over 1,000 kilograms. Imagine that go through a man. What's happened? You die. Just look at a deer. You hit a deer just a little on the head, on the neck. They die right there. They'll die right away. They don't go anywhere. And you run a man fully. You drove literally on the man. You broke the ribs, his back, and did all this. And you want to say that he didn't do that intentionally? Doesn't he got a headlight? Don't you pull us over headlight, things like that? Don't you do that? You pull the people over for not having a headlight, your headlight, blah, blah, blah. Why are you doing that? Then why are you forcing people to put on the headlight in the night? So we can just run people over and say that we didn't do intentionally. So we can just run people over and say we didn't do intentionally. Come on, man. Why? Because they're the wicked. They always defend their own race. They defend their own people. No matter the situation. You can call them killing somebody. They'll still say, no, he didn't do intention. That's how Esau operates. That's just their spirit. They're wicked. And you can't make changes to that. They're wicked. The Mosai set them up to be crooked. That's it. You can't change them. Their wickedness is always going to come back. And we prove it. Right? What did he say? Well, yeah. Also, because he transgressed by one, he is a proud man. Neither keep it at home. They don't keep it at home because their home was what? Mount Sinai. From Mount Sinai, they took over our land. They took over Jerusalem when our forefathers were taken for the first time for breaking the law, the commandment of the Most High, under who? Nebuchadnezzar, the king of the Chaldean, the king of the Babylonian. And we got who at that time? We got Baruch and Jeremiah as a prophet, a couple other prophets at that time. Then our forefathers were taken as a slave, taken into what? Babylon. Who came over and took over the land? The so-called white people. It's written, it's detailed, it's in the history. It's written in the Bible. They waged war toward the north. And slowly they start conquering and they conquer the whole land. Until 70 AD. Then they fully took it. And then continue the same war. Guess what? They conquer the whole world because you have later on the Roman Empire. Go take a look on Google. Go to Google and put Roman Empire. And click on map or images. Click on maps or images. Roman Empire. Roman Empire. And take a look at it. Because they conquered the children of Japheth, the Jews that were living in Italy, places like that. That's what they did. Right? Let's continue. He said, well, neither keep it at home. Who enlarged his desire as hell. So Edomites, they hell, man. They're deaf. They're hell. You don't understand that? You still blind? Oh, my goodness. You still don't understand? This sister, they have not understood yet. That's why Esau talking like that.
No, man in the miak. Tapos coach, kain in Nuyak. Want to Hispanic. Want to make a more so meet the Tagosiak. Tapos coach,
so you see the sister, a lot of you out there from El Salvador, Mexico, you don't want to speak in your language. You don't want to do that. You just, yeah, I'm Spanish, I speak Spanish. Man, come on, man. Repent. You love oppression. You see this sister? The sister is addressing our nation, speaking to them in the language that his people understand, so the people can understand that they got the support, they got the back. You see? That's the spirit. You don't have to always speak. Something hurt you, like if we say, when you go to Benin, they say, Ninde vename, obemeto menododo. Ninde vename. So something that hurt you, you say in your own language. You don't say it in English, in French. No. You don't say in Spanish. You go say that in your own language. Now, can they speak their own language, the Salvadorian? No. They don't even love to speak their own language. They want to speak Spanish and English. Meanwhile, the other people that conquer, they don't speak their language. You see? But they speak the conquistador language. You see that? And they think they're smart, they're intelligent. They went to school, they got PhD, they had this. They just proud, running their mouth 24/7. Look at this sister. Beautiful. Right? Watch this. It says, Esau, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied. Esau is as deaf. Esau will never be satisfied. Never. They don't have enough. What did they say now? You go to Georgia, Atlanta, they have what? The guy stone. They say so many people living on the earth, we got to kill them off. Even though they're the one that took over, stole everybody's land, and running everything from north to the south, east, west, they see God problem. They say, no, we got to kill them off. We got to kill them off. We got to reduce the world population. That's why they're coming up with all this GMO food, all this so-called, drugs, all the agenda they're plotting. They're trying to kill more people. They want to kill everybody. You want to give everybody the mark of the beast. They're pushing for all the wickedness that they can do just to kill us from the face of the earth. Poisoning our food. They're creating more cancer. Who make cancer? The so-called white people. They make cancer. I don't have to be a doctor or a biologist to tell you that. Cancer literally is man-made disease. Whether you believe it or not, you can get mad. The most they allow them to make cancer is man-made disease. They literally design those diseases in the lab. Yes, we tell you, you can get mad. Do I have to be a doctor to say that? I don't have to be a doctor. Why? Why do I need to have to be a doctor? Why? Is the malaria a natural disease? No. Malaria is a man-made disease. Understand that. Malaria is a man-made disease. AIDS is a man-made disease. Understand that. Polio, man-made disease. We want to put out there, man. Enough is enough for this lie, this garbage. Oh, well, he came from the monkey, the bat. No, that's a lie. Ebola is a man-made disease, literally designed in America, where in the state of Virginia, in the city that is known as Reston, who owns the license of the Ebola patent virus. Who? America, the United States. Understand that? So give us a break, man. Give us some break. Give us some break. He said, who enlarges his desire as hell? How do they do it? Let me show to you how do Esau do it? How is Esau doing it? How Esau enlarges his desire? How do they do it? The wicked. Let me prove unto you. We're going to go right here. You see this book? The American Holocaust, right? Right? The American Holocaust. Let's go right here. They don't have enough. They don't have enough. The wicked? No, man. Let's read it. So I'm right here in the book. I'm going to go on the page 65 in this book, The American Holocaust, right? This is what they did, right? The American Holocaust. He says, so it went who? Christopher Columbus, right? Your so-called discoverer. He discovered America, right? Let's read it. So he went from island to island, small and large, throughout the Caribbean. Wherever he went, Columbus planted a cross. What did he plant? A cross. That's what you're Christian. That's what we told you. We don't believe in Christianity. He planted a cross, making, as he said, the declaration that I require. Which declaration are required? What he was told by his boss. He went from Spain, Italy, England. That's what they told him. The Pope told him, we got to go and take over all the land. Right? The letter is called, you can look it up, you can read it. Right? I don't have it. It's called the Requerimiento. Right? It came from what? Spain, Italy. Understand that. Right? Let's read it. He said, making as he said the declaration that are required. They call it the requerimiento. Okay, and claiming ownership of what the land for his royal patrons. You see, back in Spain, imagine that, and you running your mouth talking about I'm Spanish. You belong to Spain, man. Wake up and stop running your mouth. You know nothing. I'll tell you straight up. A lot of you out there are people so-called Latino. You run your mouth. You know nothing, man. You want to follow the Christian church, you're going to perish, buddy. You're going to perish. I'm going to tell you straight up. You're going to perish. You can be Christian all you want. You can go to church all you want. The Most High is going to destroy you. Understand that. It's plain and simple. Let's continue. He said, despite the fact that Columbus noted in his own journal of the voyage that the people of this land do not understand me, nor I them. You see, it seemed to have been of particular satisfaction, you see, to him, that never once did any of the onlooking Iraq speaking, they were speaking what? Iraq. They were not speaking Spanish. They were not speaking English. Iraq, speaking islander, object to his repeated proclamation in Spanish that he was taking control of their land away from them. What did they do? They took over the land, took control over the land from them. So they think they bought America? No, they didn't buy America. Did they buy Canada? No, they stole it. They stole it. They stole Canada from our people. They stole Canada from who? Our people. From our people. This is our people. This is what they did. They stole Canada from our people.
Yeah. You're a guest here, and you don't even know how to speak to us. You don't even recognize the tone in your voice and your delivery.
So the sister telling her, Esau, you don't even speak our language. You a guest over here. We invited you as a guest. You come here, you want to run your mouth. You see what I'm saying? That's what they do, man. He said, well, he's a proud man. They don't keep it at home. She won't keep it in her nasty home. That Edomite, she won't keep it, right? In her nasty home, right? Who alleged his desire as hell. They want more. They never had enough. They want to take over everything. Don't you see they're killing the animal habitat just to build apartment, nasty apartment? Just to build nasty wood, cardboard apartment, cardboard houses. That's what they're doing. Destroying the habitation of the beast, of the animal, the birds. The bird can't even sleep properly. The deer, they don't have no place to live because they destroy everything. The buffalo, and the list goes on and on and on. It's the wicked. They don't have enough. The wicked, they don't have enough. Esau ain't got enough. Right? It cannot be satisfied. And what? It cannot be, it is as death. They're deaf. Anywhere they set foot is all bloodshed, is all death. They came to America. What happened to our people? The so-called Native Indian. In Canada and all the places. What happened? They were slaughtered. Over 100 million. 100 million got killed. Okay? What? Watch it. And say what? As deaf is as deaf and cannot be satisfied. They cannot be satisfied. Esau will never be satisfied. They want more. Cannot be satisfied. But gather unto himself all nations. Who did that? Who gathered himself? What race gathered all the nations to himself? Who did that? It's Esau. It's the so-called white people. All the nation bowed down to them. All the nation. They bowed down to Esau Edom. All the nation. Right? All the nation. Right? But gather unto him all nations, and heap unto him all people. Shall not all this take up a parable against him? Are not these people going to rise up against him one day? And a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increased that which is not his. Because America don't belong to white people. Do America belong to white people, so-called white people? No, it doesn't belong to them. How did they become the owner of the land? They stole it. They robbed, they murdered. They murdered. That's what they did. Let's see. Let's show them. Let's see. What did they do in some of the places? I want to show you. Some of these cities. Let's read what they did, okay? Let's see what they did, right? Let's read it. We're going to show you. We're on this book, right? The American Holocaust, right? We want everybody to see. The American Holocaust. This is a beautiful book. And I'm going to go on the page what? I'm going to read on the page 82. I'm going to read page 82. Page 82 on the book, The American Holocaust. Page 82. Let's read it. Page 82. It says, the gratuitous killing an outright sadism that the Spanish soldier, so-called white people from Spain, okay, Spanish soldier had carried out on Hispaniola, right? And in central Mexico, there we go. A lot of you out there Mexican, you don't even know like this history. You don't know it. You do the talking, bah, bah, bah. That's what you do, right? He said, well, was repeated in the long march to the south. Numerous reports from numerous reporters tell of Indians being led to the mine in columns, chained together at the neck. They chained the native Indian. That's what the scripture said, Deuteronomy 20, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until thou be destroyed. And what happened to our people? Fully destroyed as a nation. Right? Let's continue. Right? And decapitated if they faltered. So if you just, you don't resist, Esau just cut your head off. Who did that? The Spaniard. Your Christian Spaniard that came from Spain. Okay? There we go. Let's read it. Of children trapped and burned alive in their houses. Imagine. They trap the children and they burn the children alive in their houses. Or stabbed to death. Or stabbed to death because they walk too slowly. So these poor of our people, young brother, maybe 3 or 4 years old, they were walking slowly. Guess what? Esau, what did Esau do? Either Esau burned them alive in their houses or Esau stabbed them to death. Who does that? Who does that? Who did all those things? And today you say we're teaching hate? Really? You say we're teaching hate? Really? Wow, we're teaching hate. So did we write this book? Did the black people wrote this book? Did we write it? No. Who wrote this? Same devils. They expose them own self. Right? And you say that we're teaching hate? Really? Let's read it. He said, let's see. He said, or stabbed to death because they walk too slowly. Imagine that. It's Esau, man. Of the routine cutting off women's breast. What did they do? They cut the woman's breast. Who did that? The so-called white people from Spain, England, Germany, Italy, France. They did that, and they still do that until this very last day. How did they do it now? They use the GMO food, genetically modified food. They use cancer, right? They use all type of disease, right? They use viruses. There's something they call biowarfare. Who is the top number one? Is America, Germany, Russia, China, England, and the list goes on and on. They go in the lab with the chemists, with the laboratories, or all the wicked out there, all the witches, right? And they make up war, disease, and they bring it in the world and drop it on people. They can drop some in your sink, in your water, in your tap water, you drink it, and then you get the disease. You don't believe it? They do that, man. They do that. We know through the Holy Spirit. They do that. And according to their own news. Right? He said, well, in the time of having good to their feet before tossing them to drown in lakes and lagoon. Who did that? Look, they say anywhere they go is what? Violence, bloodshed. Is violence and bloodshed anywhere they go. Anywhere they go, what do you see? Let's read it. He said, well, yeah, also, because he transgressed by one, he is a proud man, neither keep it at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death. Everywhere he goes, everywhere they go. You go in the book of Revelation, we can prove the same thing. You go in the book of Revelation, same thing, we can prove it.